What's going on, guys? We are back with another replay analysis, this time of Pathoz. Pathoz? I guess Pathoz, because it's a Z. He's rocking the Batmobile. He is a superstar at the time. They were on a winning streak. It was a team of 3 that were in comms, and they wound up playing against some super champs for this game. So he's just, trying to figure out where to get better. He doesn't play a ton of ranked, he says. Just slowly moving up in all of them. Yeah, we'll go from there. So let's start from the start. You got this from patreon.com/Gibbs00. You know the drill. Head over there if you want to get replays analyzed / other stuff. Have some fun. Support me because I need it really bad. No, I'm just joking. Do what you can. If you can't, that's fine. Just enjoy the videos and let's have a good time. We got 2 Rocketeers over there. Pathoz and Smiggle. They're higher ranked than me. So let's go. First off, on the face-off, we have both guys going for boost, and then the guy going for face-up. This isn't a terrible idea. The only thing you can't do is have, like, a neutralized kickoff, which kind of happens here. Luckily, the player's on void. He cheats up maybe a little bit too much, so he doesn't actually get a quality shot off. Like, he doesn't really have a chance at it, so it kind of works out for him. But generally, like, if you know that both your guys are going for face-offs, you kind of want to throw this ball to the side. It doesn't really matter, like, if you lose it, because it's going to go back to your guys that have boost. You just don't want to neutralize the kickoff, whatever you do. So just keep that in mind when you're both going for boost, which is not always possible, obviously, because, like, they can also try and neutralize the kickoff too. So, it's just trying to beat out your opponent on the kickoff itself. So right here, good pass for the clear. Nice play by Ilium. Getting the tip, and then they're just pushing this ball forward, throwing it back and forth to each other. Really smart play. And then Ilium getting the shot. Let's follow him. Or Ilum. I'm not really sure how to say his name. Let's go back to the start of this play. So they're both going back. Pathoz has it. Ilium goes up the wall. Great aerial to just beat out the other guy. Like, you just don't want a shot from the other guy, so all you had to do was tip it. Because off a face-off, pretty much most players are going to be transitioning back for boost. There'll probably be one attacker coming at you. So as long as you can beat them, it doesn't really matter even if you center it on your own net, because your team should be there to pick it up. And then Pathoz gets the touch, and this is a really smart play. Beautiful tip there. The problem here is the goalie on the other side didn't make the best of plays. I'm trying to see who it is. Hard to see from this angle. We'll go with One Way Out, maybe? No, that's not him. Nope, it is Kluk. Okay. Let's go back. Let's see what happens here. He's trying to retreat back. He just takes a little bit too long to go for the challenge on that ball. If you are going to go, just go right away. If not, just go to the net and try and defend whatever shot is coming. You don't want to be in between, which is basically what happens there. But that's how a lot of goals are scored. Just the way it is. But great pass and play to start off this game. Well done. Let's see if they can continue it. Once again, see, this is a much better face-off. You see how it gets one to the left. It doesn't matter if it's one to the left or to the right. You actually want it to come back into your own area, since you guys are both grabbing boosts. Because say this ball gets pushed out to the other area, then the guy in the other team has a chance at this ball. But instead, since you're both going for boosts, like I usually say, push the ball forward or to your side on the diagonal, like push it away from you. But if both players are going for boosts and threes, then you can't really push it to either side, because at least there'll be at least a 50-50 challenge. So you still want to push it to your own diagonal side or push it past your diagonal. But then expect a 50-50 instead of just a clean win. And nice ball there. Good wall defense. Smiggle just barely tries to fight this ball off. Doesn't really work out. Yeah, he just didn't have the proper aerial, so he tries to spin here. And as you can see, like, he spins just a little bit too late. Or, yeah, I would say, I'm not really sure. It was a bad time in spin. Let's watch it again. We can go back to 100%. It's always hard to read when someone else is doing something. So he's going up. He's trying to, I think, do a diagonal flip here. But you see how he just didn't boost enough upwards? He could have actually just done for the double pop and then actually had a pretty quality shot. But instead he side flips, which he didn't really need to do here. He was already pretty much on target for a shot. So he side flips, and then this is what happens. Hits off his wheels and just goes nowhere. And this will happen if you time your flips wrong. If he would have went right as the ball is connecting with him, it could have been a more powerful shot. But he was just a little bit too low. So instead it just comes back, and Pathoz can't expect that. So he doesn't really get the best play here either. But he does try for the challenge. It's a risky play, but At the same time, when it's about to be a 3-on-1, they're about to try for a pass and play, and you're not really set to go into net, it might be a better idea to just try and block that one angle and hope they throw the ball up the wall so they can't get a shot yet and let your team get back. This ball does exactly do that. It goes up the wall, so it gives his teammates enough time to get back, but they both go for the same ball, which you generally don't want to do on defense, but it happens all the time. On defense, it happens a lot more than offense, and it's actually less risky on defense. It still is risky, but as long as whoever makes the hit actually makes a good clear, then it doesn't really matter. We'll go back here. Just try to fight this off a little bit too hard. He's kind of hugging the corner here when he's got to be a little bit careful about going to net, but it's fine. He's just trying to cut off that pass. He does get the tip, which isn't terrible. Smiggle just with the whiff there. Probably should just rotate a little bit more around net, or let's see. Smiggle's going up in the air from this play. That's trying to be maybe a little bit too fancy of a pass and play. Smiggle probably shouldn't be there at that point. You have to expect a challenge from the other team, and you should probably just rotate out or be like in the middle of the field. It's kind of pointless if you're on the same wall with them. You can make plays off of it, but it's not really high percentage plays. So now Smiggle has to hustle back. He gets back. Oh, yeah, just a whiff there. Just didn't read the ball properly, and that's going to happen. It'll turn to a goal when you have bad positioning on the pass, and then you come back and you miss the defensive stop. It's bound to happen. Free net for the other team. So that's what, like, sometimes on the offensive side, teams try to do a little bit too much. And then it kind of costs you back on the defensive end. So you just got to be careful about how fancy you want to get on the offensive side, because just remember how much of a percentage play does this have a chance at a goal versus if I mess up, what's the percentage that the other team's probably going to score? You know, you just got to kind of weigh both options, risk versus reward. If the risk is higher than reward, generally probably shouldn't go for it. Go back here. Oh, that's pretty good clear. Just throwing up the wall, throwing it out. He actually gets it to open space. Juan has to basically hustle over there and make the play. See here how he can't really get an angle to start pushing this. So this actually is not a bad play at all. So good hit there by Pathoz. And that's what you want to try and do. Just make the other team have no momentum when they're about to hit the ball. That's exactly what he did there. And it didn't really hurt them in the long run. And continue, he's flipping around. Having a good time. He's on defense. This is a bad ball. Really bad ball. It's bound to happen, though. This is kind of why I like the higher cars. So with the Batmobile, with those super low hitbox, he basically has to jump at this to try and make something happen, or else the ball just pops straight up. With the Octane, or a Merc or something like that, you probably don't even have to jump for this, and you could probably push it out on a better angle out to the center of the field, or push it more to the side. But with the Batmobile, this ball's just going to pop straight up. And he jumps a little bit late, and that ball does exactly that. Just pops straight up with no momentum and turns into a perfect center for the other team. So that's one of the reasons why I use Octane over the smaller hitbox cars, is for plays like that. I'm just not a fan of the Batmobile for stuff like that. Ooh, off the post. Let's watch Smiggle's defense here, actually. I just want to see what type of play he's going for here. The play's coming out, bad bounce. He knows he's. Oh yeah, he's kind of screwed here. What he should have done, I think his best bet would have been to handbrake all the way around, at least face forward, so you can block the other angle. Because honestly, Dork here, like this is a misplay by far. He should have easily just thrown this behind the goalie. As soon as you see the goalie like that, you see how he turned just a little bit more there. He didn't have to turn there. If he would have kind of stayed on his path, let's go back here. I'll show it off in slow mo. This is too slow-mo. Okay. Right here. So right here, he's going at a good angle. Like, this will give him the option to shoot for the other corner, back to the inside post. And generally, 9 times out of 10, guys, you want to shoot back to where the ball is coming from, because goalies never guard that side. It's a lot harder to guard that angle compared to the rest of the net. So you see here, right there, that turn. Now he's on an angle where he's not going to have the best shot in the world. He can still make up for it, like if he turns right. But he pre-jumps here maybe a little bit early when he could have probably put himself in a better position. And look at that. That's a terrible shot right at Smiggle. Smiggle trying to pre-jump because he's got to try for the save. Jumps a little bit too high, and it doesn't go in anyway. But that entire other side of the net is wide open. So you see how Smiggle's turning right there. As soon as you see that, you know I am shooting back to the same post, and it'll be a free goal. But instead, it's not like, look, right here at the shot, Smiggle's right behind there. He's not even guarding the middle of the net. He could have easily thrown it to perfectly center in the net, and that would have been in. But that entire other side of the net is open. Always look to bring the ball back to the same angle it came from. Goalies never defend it. So keep that in mind as you're playing. And it's also a good passing tool. We saw probably a few videos ago where if you do miss that inside corner, well, actually, on that play, it doesn't work as well because he's already in the middle. But if you're coming from the side and you're going to shoot for the closest post that you had, then it actually turns into a good pass. Let's go back here. I'm not even sure what happened. Wasn't even paying attention. Good little play. Wasn't really anything. Just throwing it on net. Smiggle trying to get the pass. Doesn't work. This play's not even that great, but you see how the ball's just a little bit in the air, and that's going to cause mistake after mistake after mistake, even if it's barely in the air. See how here, Dork with a complete whiff on it. Like, if that ball's on the ground, that's a huge clear. So it's always good to keep that ball elevated whenever you're shooting, even if it's not even that high. Sometimes it works out. Both of them go for the save. One way out. I think we've seen him before on one of my videos, I think. I think I've seen the name before, but it's probably not that original, so it's not that big a deal. I mean, right there, Juan's got to trust Dork. Like, Dork's already making that play. Like, you just kind of have to trust your teammates. Sure, it would have put him in a bad spot, but now he's just completely out of the play. That's just a bad read by Juan. Just not trusting on defense. And it is the hardest place to trust people, but you just got to do it on plays like that where you clearly see Dork's in front of the ball. You just got to let him make the play. And he also flipped, which he didn't really even have to. He was, like, in line to make the save on the ground. If he had to make a last-second correction, he probably would have jumped, but he would have been fine. Nice play by Ilum there. Let's go over to Ilum for this play. So this is pretty good pop. Like, this is why you don't want to clear it into their zone on the floor, because now a Dork pops it up and now has the next play available. But Ilum comes out, like, he realizes he's not going to make it all the way to the ball, so it's actually better kind of float above the net, see what type of shot he has, and see if you can block it. It worked out. A little bit of a lucky play, but he gets the stop. This is going to be unfortunate. Yep, there it is. So he's in the corner here. This isn't a terrible play to try and make something happen here. The problem is Smiggle. You see how Smiggle is past the net at this point? He knew he had a teammate here. See how Pathoz is there? Smiggle is pushing out way too far. He should be further back into his net. In case this 50-50 goes wrong and turns into a pass, then he can aerial out of his net and make a play. But instead, he kind of creeps up when you know there's about to be a 50-50. So generally, when you see a 50-50, you just don't know how the ball is going to play out. And right there we see perfect pass right to the middle. If Smiggle's in net, he can easily aerial to that and block it. But instead, he pushed into the corner. Never have two people in the same corner. It's a very bad idea. Here we go. Another face-off. Again, they're probably both going for boost. And they push it out to the side, which is a good play. Doesn't matter what side it is. It's more helpful like if it is a push and pass your diagonal, but it's not the end of the world. You're just trying to get it out as soon as you can. And honestly, it's easier to push it out to like behind you basically, because the other team is trying to push it there too. So it's better than having it be a stalemate in the middle. It's basically your second option, which isn't terrible. Right, so see this play right here? This is one of those plays where you're trying to make something happen, it just doesn't really work out. Probably don't want to throw this on net. Like, these plays are better if you just pop it a little bit back and go for the pass. But there he threw it at the goalie, so it brings one of his attackers out, and now it's a 1-on-2. Luckily, Smiggle makes the play, so it's not a big deal. But you got to be careful with those. Like, you want to lob those a little bit back to give your shooter more time to get to the ball than the goalie, and try and beat the goalie out too. Sometimes like the goalie will still challenge those because he's afraid of how good of a shot it's going to be. Continue here. Good little supportive clear there from Ilium. So it was a good play. And the ball's come back the other way. Probably didn't have to push up this far. Like you see, the ball's kind of cleared out. And Ilium's trying to dive at it, but it doesn't look that great. Both of them are at midfield. I probably would have sat back a little bit further as that third man and let Smiggle be that second man. When you're both in this position, it's not really going to help you all that much unless Ilium makes a play, but he doesn't. So now they're going to have to retreat a bit, but it works out one way, messes up the play. Nice hustle from one-way, though. This play's actually really good. He comes back to just mess up the dribble/pass, and that's what I want to see a lot from people when you are on that offensive end and the other team's about to start to do a slow dribble. Don't just, like, drive away for a boost. Like, go drive at them and force them to make a worse play than they have to, and that's a good play there. It turns into kind of chaos, and then Orange keeps control of the ball because of one-way's hustle. They have a really quality shot here, and then they just kind of blow it. Let's go over to Cluck. I meant to go to Cluck, but it didn't go. All right, let's go back. So Cluck gets the hit. He has the angle, too. Not really. Okay. Yeah, that's not his play. Like, once you see this whiff here, like, you see how Dork's behind him. Once you know that's like, I don't have the angle for the shot, you should probably backflip out of this and just have faith that one of your teammates is going to shoot it. Worst case scenario, no one goes for it, and it doesn't really matter because you weren't going to score this anyway. Instead, he just kind of throws off the shot for his teammate. I think it was One-Way. Yeah, One-Way has a decent chance at the shot. And these plays are so infuriating when one of your teammates just comes and does that. And One-Way had basically half the net to shoot at, so that kind of sucks. Back to Pathoz. Go back to this wall pass. It's a pretty good wall pass. It's just Smiggle pushed up a little too far. I mean, that's just one of those, he expected it to be forward, but it's probably better off to go parallel and just chill behind the ball and wait for the good pass that way. But I understand why you'd push up because most people do hit it forward. Not the end of the world. A good try here. It's not a terrible play. Not the greatest wall hit in the world, but they still make it work. Smiggle gets a shot kind of on net. Just, well, it didn't turn into the best play in the world, but it's fine. Good hustle here. Just, the once that corner hit, it's kind of over. Like, if the goalie doesn't come out for this, then you lost this play. He's expecting the goalie to come out to challenge this, so that's why he goes off the wall. But once you see that it's not happening, then you're kind of screwed. Now he's in net. Now you know it's a clear. The thing is, with this play, Ilum probably doesn't really have to go for this. Once you see a play like that, or if you are going to go for it, you should be in the air trying to get a dunk as soon as possible. He does not go for the dunk at first. He's going more for a shot. And then he's, like, not even close to having a chance at blocking this. But if you fly into the air, I'm going to at least put some pressure on Clue to hit it in a way that maybe he didn't want to. But instead there, Clue has all the time in the world to do whatever he wants. That's not the greatest play in the world. Like, I don't mind if you dive at it, but if you're just in between and do nothing, and then still side flip into the other opponent's net, that's just, I'm not going to like it. I'm not going to like it one bit. Good play there by Clue, just wasting time, pinning that ball onto his own wall. A good idea here from Pathoz, trying to get this back center, just barely doesn't get enough height on it. And then Ilium also just with the whiff. Ilium with the shot. No one saw that earlier. Let's see why this play even happened. So a little bit of whiff there. Smiggle makes the play. Dork. Oh, Dork with the terrible hit. And there it is. Wide open net. You don't have to get fancy with it. Like, you could hit that soft. You don't have to go 100 miles an hour at it. I understand, like, the game speed's going pretty fast, but you just got to read the situation and sometimes take the safer shot. Understandably, he might not have known if there is a goalie coming around, so he's trying to, like, get it in as fast as possible, but it happens. Everyone misses open nets. It's just the way it is. It sucks, but it'll happen to the best of us. All right. Moving on. Pretty good wall clear. That's all you really need to do is throw it up in the air center. You're probably better off keeping it to the side or hitting it a little bit harder, but because of that height, it didn't actually affect you all that much. So not the end of the world. That didn't work. And that's the game from Pathoz. So, like, they started out with a lot of passing, trying to read each other, but I felt like as the game moved on and as the speed kept increasing, they kind of lost that towards the end. They had a couple good supportive clears, but overall, their passes from the corners were kind of shit. Like, you kind of want to roll it up the wall and try and throw it out back away from the goalie. A lot of their passes were going right at the goalie, so then you would just attack, you would miss it, and the goalie would get a big clear, and then you're on the defensive end for probably another 20 to 30 seconds, depending on the play. So those plays weren't really helping them there, but overall, it was a fun game to watch, and I feel like he will be moving up soon. I feel like That's champion quality, for sure, from what they were showing here or there. They just got to polish it up and look for each other a little bit more. They'll definitely make champion for 3s. But yeah, that'll do it for this replay, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And thank you, Pathoz, for the replay. And we'll see you next time. Later.